All right, let's take a pause from whistleblowing and welcome our next speaker. Greg Kimsey has served as Clark County Auditor since January 1999. Greg is responsible for making sure our elections are secure and that every vote that can be counted is counted, because your votes are important. Greg is an active member of our community. He serves as commissioner for the Vancouver Housing Authority and is a founding board member of Columbia Land Trust. Hello, little wasp. You're about as welcome as ice. Most importantly, Greg oversees elections in Clark County, making sure they are free and fair, that every vote that can be counted is accurately counted. And for all that, we say thank you. Welcome, Greg.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you for the nice introduction. And thanks to each of you for being here today. What a fantastic crowd. Thank you so much. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Yeah, that's great. You're here to show your support for democracy and the rule of law. What a great crowd. This has got to be twice as big as the last one up on Mill Plain. Fantastic. So at the first one of these, I saw a sign that said, "The power of the people is greater than the people in power." I thought that was just fantastic. There's a lot of great signs here today as well. Did anyone have that power of the people is greater than the people in power? There we are. Well, thank you. Especially like when I saw crushing kings since 1776. There's just lots of great signs. So, we the people use our power by voting. Trump is afraid of that power. He is trying to reduce our power by making it more difficult to register to vote and cast a ballot. He wants to ban mail ballots. He wants to eliminate the use of voting machines, boo, and nationalize elections. Boo. It gets worse. It seems like he wants to create enough chaos that if his candidates lose this year, he can overturn election results. Ooh. The Save America Act is a good example of this attempt at creating chaos. It would require people to provide a document proving they are a U.S. citizen when registering to vote, and require them to send a copy of that document with their voted ballot. This would create a barrier to voting for millions of people. Millions of people. More than 20 million U.S. citizens do not have a birth certificate or a passport. This includes many women who, when they were married, they changed their name and they don't currently have a passport. Allegedly, the purpose of the Save America Act is to stop non-citizens from voting, even though there's absolutely no evidence at all that large numbers of non-citizens are voting in our country. The Save America Act is the very definition of a solution in search of a problem. The Conservative Heritage Foundation's database of election crimes in all 50 states lists only 24 instances of non-citizens voting over a 20-year period. 24 out of millions and millions of ballots cast. A number of states have conducted investigations into non-citizen voting and found it virtually non-existent. Now, the SAVE Act would also require, when people register to vote, and most registrations occur at the Department of Licensing, that those applicants, those driver's license applicants, would have to have a document proving they're a U.S. citizen. It also, in order to register to vote, the SAVE Act would also effectively eliminate online registration and mail-in registration. This would reduce the number of people who register to vote and receive a ballot. Requiring every voter to include a copy of their citizenship documentation with their ballot would reduce the number of ballots that we can count. Now, voting is a constitutional right. A barrier to the exercise of constitutional right should only be created when the government's interest outweighs the citizens' constitutional right. The government's interest in ensuring that only U.S. citizens vote would not be significantly enhanced by the Save America Act. The Save America Act requires all these changes immediately. This would be very difficult to comply with and would be very expensive, and the Act does not provide any funding for that. Now, on another subject, this week, in another attempt to create barriers to voting, the Republican National Committee argued to the United States Supreme Court that ballots that are voted on or before Election Day but received in the elections office after Election Day should not be counted. Thank you, thank you. If the court agrees with that, there will be thousands of people here in Clark County whose ballots will not be counted. Now, Supreme Court Justices Alito and Kavanaugh said that ballots received after Election Day could, quote, flip election results, unquote. That's just idiotic. It is idiotic. Counting ballots that were voted on or before Election Day is exactly how the system should work. Justices Kagan, Breyer, and Sotomayor had it correct when they said there are no results to flip until all valid votes are counted. It's my hope that, as predicted, the Save America Act does not get passed into law. I'm also, yay on that one, I'm also crossing my fingers and hoping that the Supreme Court will not agree with the Republican National Committee. The problem isn't that the wrong people are voting. The problem is that not enough people are voting. Now, here in Washington, our election laws make it very convenient for people to register to vote and cast a ballot. Our election system is secure and accurately reflects the cumulative decision of voters. Our country should be moving in the direction of Washington's election system, not Texas or Georgia, Iowa. We are a model for the country. Now, Trump is trying to erect barriers to voting, but whatever Trump, Congress, and the courts do, the best response is to vote. You have to vote. Now remember, the power of the people is greater than the people in power. Say it along with me. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. Oh, we can do better than that. We can do better than that. One more time. The power of the people is greater than the people in power. Thank you so much. Thank you.